Miffy and Aggie were having great fun in the playground. Look at how they went up and down on the seesaw. They were laughing and going up and down, up and down. Just then, Snuffy came running into the playground as well. She was wagging her tail and barking happily. "Look, Miffy," said Aggie. "Snuffy would like to have a go on the seesaw too." "No, no," said Miffy. "Seesaws are not for dogs, Snuffy. You can have fun running around, but you would fall off the seesaw." Miffy and Aggie had finished their game on the seesaw, so they walked over to the merry-go-round. They pushed with their feet, and the merry-go-round went around and around, faster and faster. Snuffy ran around it, around and around, wagging her tail and barking eagerly. "Look, Miffy," said Aggie as they spun around and around. "Snuffy wants to be on the merry-go-round too." "No, no," said Miffy. "The merry-go-round is a lot of fun for us, but you would surely fall off and hurt yourself if you got on it." "The merry-go-round is not for dogs, but you can run around it if you like." Soon the merry-go-round slowed down. Miffy and Aggie were a little dizzy. Snuffy still wanted to play, and she was almost able to climb to the top of the slide. But she wasn't able to hold on to the ladder, and she fell on the ground, making a little yelp. "Oh dear," said Miffy. "Are you hurt, Snuffy? The slide is not really for dogs, you know. You must be more careful in this playground." "Let's rest a little," said Aggie. So they decided to sit on a bench for a while to eat some of the biscuits that their mothers had packed for them in little paper bags. "Here, Snuffy," said Miffy. "You can have a biscuit too. Biscuits are good even for little dogs." Miffy and Aggie laughed. They didn't want Snuffy to be sad just because she couldn't join in. "So now, please wait quietly, Snuffy dear, while Aggie and I go to play on the slide." Then Miffy climbed up to the top of the slide and slid down, laughing happily. Then Aggie climbed up too and slid down. She also laughed. And while they were laughing, Snuffy ran up and climbed to the top of the slide without falling down. "No, no, Snuffy," called out Miffy. "You must be careful, Snuffy. Slides are not for dogs." But then Snuffy did an amazing thing. She sat down and slid right down the slide and landed softly on a pile of sand at the bottom. "You did it!" cried Aggie. "You did it!" cried Miffy. "You are such a smart little dog, Snuffy." There was a clear blue winter sky. Miffy was sleeping in her warm, cosy bed. When at last the sun began to rise, Miffy was awakened by the sound of a chirping bird just outside her window. "What a beautiful song that bird has," thought Miffy. "She must be very happy. She can see the beautiful snow-covered meadow. I would like to be out there too." So Miffy quickly got dressed in her warm coat and her warm scarf and went outside in the crisp white snow. The bird was still there, right in Miffy's garden. "What a happy bird," thought Miffy again, and she went to get her sledge. She gave her sledge a little push and jumped onto it. It was such a nice feeling to be sliding over the smooth white snow. Miffy still heard the bird cheeping, just as loudly as ever, and when she looked back, she saw that the bird was hopping after her. The little bird loves the snow too, thought Miffy. She's hopping along with me. But now Miffy had to turn her sledge around and pull it back to her house. She hadn't had her breakfast yet. And even as she did that, the little bird also turned around and hopped after her. That little bird must really like me, thought Miffy. She wants to follow me and sing for me wherever I go. Then Miffy's mother called out, "Quickly, Miffy, you don't have time to play in the snow before school. Come in and eat your breakfast." When Miffy had finished her breakfast, the little bird was still there, sitting on the windowsill. And as Miffy walked to school, the little bird followed her again, all the way to the school. "Do you want to go to school, little bird?" asked Miffy. "You already know how to sing." Miffy thought it was funny that the little bird followed her everywhere, always singing. Even as she sat in her classroom, the little bird sat outside the window. When it was time for break, all of the children went out to play in the snow, and they were all delighted to see the little bird hopping all around them. Melanie said, "I think that little bird is trying to tell us something, Miffy." "Yes," said Miffy. "She's been chirping and following me all morning." "Maybe she is hungry, Miffy," said Melanie. "Oh dear," said Miffy. "I didn't think of that. The snow has covered the grass and there is nothing outside for a bird to eat." Miffy felt bad. "Oh, I am silly," she said. "I should have known the bird was hungry." She ran inside and brought out the little paper bag with her lunch in it. She took out a nice piece of brown bread and spread some crumbs on top of the snow. The little bird immediately jumped over to the crumbs and ate every one of them. Then she flapped her wings and flew off. The next morning when Miffy woke up, the little bird was there again. This time, Miffy knew just what to do. Miffy's favourite toy was her yellow teddy bear that she always took to bed. One morning she awoke and couldn't find her teddy bear. It wasn't under her blanket where it should be, so she looked under her bed, and there it was. "You're such a grown-up teddy bear," said Miffy. "I think you should have your own bed so you can't fall out. I'll ask my good friend Boris Bear to make a bed for you. We shall go and visit him." So Miffy carried her teddy, and together with Snuffy, she walked through the forest to Boris's house. "Hello, Miffy. Hello, Snuffy," said Boris. "I'm always so happy to see you both, and I see that you have another friend with you." "It's my very own teddy bear, and he needs his own bed. Last night he fell out of my bed. It's too big for him." "Of course," said Boris. "He must have his own bed. I will make one for him in my workshop." Boris then started to make a little bed for Miffy's teddy bear. Miffy helped by handing Boris the tools when he called for them. And even Snuffy helped by fetching the pieces of wood. Soon the little bed was finished. "It's a lovely bed, Boris," said Miffy. "Thank you very much for making it for my teddy." It had been a lot of work, and Miffy was tired. Just then she heard... It was Father Bunny. Barbara had telephoned him and asked him to come and collect Miffy and Snuffy. "Look, Father," called Miffy. "Here is a lovely bed that Boris made for my teddy." "Boris is so clever," said Father Bunny. "Did you remember to thank him?" "Oh, yes," said Boris. "Miffy thanked me very politely. It was a pleasure to make the little bed for her." Then it was time to ride home in Father Bunny's car. Father carefully put the bed on the back seat of the car and laid Teddy Bear in it. Snuffy jumped next to it, and Miffy got into the car as well. They waved goodbye to Boris and Barbara and set off for home. Miffy was very tired after such an exciting day and such hard work. Soon she fell fast asleep, even though the road was very bumpy. When they drove around a corner, the wheels of the car hit a big bump, and the teddy bear flew right out of the car. Miffy was asleep, and her father was busy driving. He didn't even see that the teddy bear was gone. When they arrived at their house, Snuffy jumped out of the car and ran away. Miffy looked on the back seat and saw that the little bed was empty. Where was her teddy bear? She began to cry. "Oh dear, Teddy Bear is lost in the forest. I'll never see him again." "I think it will be very difficult to find your teddy bear in the big forest." "And where is Snuffy? She has also gone," said Miffy. Suddenly they heard the sound of barking. They looked back and saw Snuffy come running out of the forest. "Look, Miffy," shouted Father happily. "Snuffy has found your teddy bear." How happy Miffy was. She patted Snuffy. "You are such a good dog. I am happy to have you as a faithful friend." One beautiful summer day, Boris Bear was making a circle with some stones. He was building a fire because he wanted to surprise Barbara with a nice picnic on the hill. When the stones were ready, he went into the forest to find some wood to burn in the fire. At the same time, at Poppy's place, Poppy was saying to her niece Grunty, "This is such a lovely day. Why don't we go to the hill and have a picnic?" "That's a good idea," said Grunty. "Let's bring lots of carrots." Meanwhile, Mother and Father Bunny were having the very same idea. "This is such a splendid day," said Miffy's mother. "We can all go to the hillside for a picnic." "Oh, wonderful," said Miffy. "I love picnics. Shall we invite Auntie Alice?" "Yes, we will," said Father Bunny. "And Auntie Alice always makes such delicious cakes and biscuits." So all the friends were getting ready for a picnic, but none of them knew that the others were doing the same thing. Boris returned from the forest, his arms full of wood, and placed it all inside the circle of stones. "Before I start the fire, I will go and get Barbara," he thought. "She will be surprised when I invite her to a picnic." As Boris left, Poppy and Grunty came walking up the hill, looking for a good place to have their picnic. "Look," said Grunty. "Here is a good place. A fire has already been prepared here. Can we use it?" "I'm not sure we can use this campfire, Grunty," said Poppy. "Someone else has prepared it, not us." But just then she saw Miffy and her parents coming up the hill, carrying a large picnic basket. "Look," said Poppy. "Even Auntie Alice and Snuffy are here. They must have prepared this campfire." "Oh, look," said Mother Bunny. "Poppy and Grunty are here too, and they have prepared a perfect place for a fire." "May we join you?" asked Miffy. "Certainly," said Poppy. After all, this is your campfire. No, no, said Father Bunny. It's not ours. Then who made it? Asked Poppy. Meanwhile, Boris arrived home. He had secretly prepared a delicious picnic earlier in the morning, and he had hidden the picnic basket in his workshop. Now he came back to collect it. Barbara, I have a surprise for you. A picnic! Come with me. So Boris and Barbara walked up the hill. They heard lots of voices. What a lovely surprise you have made for me, Boris, said Barbara. You've invited all of our friends to have a picnic on this lovely day. Boris just smiled and said, Welcome everybody to our picnic. I will now start the fire. Aha, said Father Bunny. Aha, said Poppy. Aha, said Miffy. It was you, Boris, who prepared the campfire, said Auntie Alice. Be careful when you light the fire. Boris just smiled again. And they all joined together around the blazing fire and enjoyed a wonderful picnic on a wonderful day. Poppy Pig was passing by Miffy's house, pulling a cart carrying a large Christmas tree in a pot. Good morning, Poppy, said Miffy. Where did you get that beautiful tree? Boris gave it to me, Miffy, said Poppy. Christmas is coming, and I asked him if he could find me a nice tree. What a good idea, thought Miffy. We will also need a Christmas tree. Miffy went inside and asked her mother. May I go into the forest to ask Boris Bear to find us a Christmas tree? Yes, Miffy, but you must be home in time for lunch. So off she went, across the meadow and into the forest. When she arrived at Boris and Barbara's house, they were already decorating their own tree for Christmas. Hello, Boris, said Miffy, and a Merry Christmas to you and Barbara. I would like to ask you if you can find a nice Christmas tree for our family. Yes, I can, said Boris. But you know I mustn't cut down a forest tree. I can dig one up for you and then put it in a pot so the tree can stay alive for next year. So they went into the forest and they saw many beautiful trees. Miffy saw one that was especially beautiful. But I think that one is too big to put inside our house. Well, what about that charming little one over there? Oh, that one is too small. All our Christmas tree decorations won't fit on such a tiny tree. Then Boris pointed to a medium-sized tree. Do you think this one will do? He asked. Yes, said Miffy. That's a lovely one. Can you dig that one up for me, please? So Boris dug up the tree, being very careful not to damage its roots. I will bring it to your house tomorrow. Miffy was home just in time for lunch, and she told her mother about the lovely tree that Boris was going to bring them. The next evening, Miffy and her mother and her father were busy decorating the tree. It looked so beautiful and even had flashing lights. In the morning, Miffy was on her way to school and little Snuffy was running along with her. When they arrived at the school, there was Boris with a very big tree for the schoolyard. Hello, Miffy, said Boris. This is the tree that you said was too big for your house, but I thought it would be just perfect for your school. The school teacher and all the children were very pleased to have such a wonderful tree for their school. All the children were soon at work, making decorations for their new tree. It was going to be so beautiful. Then Boris knocked on the window. "I have another surprise for you, Miffy. I also brought the tiny tree. I think it will be perfect for Snuffy." "How wonderful!" said Miffy. "Snuffy's own special Christmas tree to put near her doghouse." All the school children were happy with their big tree. At Christmas, Miffy and her parents were happy with their medium-sized tree. And little Snuffy was very, very happy with her very own tiny tree.
Miffy, 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 run! With her friends she's having fun. Snuffy, Grunty, Boris Bear, Poppy Pig